Happy Thursday, Anthony Melchiori, January 13th, 2022. How you doing?
I killed the mystique for you, my friend.
Oh, yeah. The mystique, consider it dead.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Rubber Ducky, you're the one. That's right. It's National Rubber Duck Day, Anthony Melchiori. The one day everyone gathers around the world to celebrate rubber ducks. Although,
do you know anybody that collects rubber ducks?
We might have one right here. That's Dr. Producer Suzanne over there. So, Suzanne, oh boy.
Why do you have so many rubber ducks?
There are 217 rubber ducks, not including my earrings for today.
Why do you have so many rubber ducks?
So my rubber duck collection started at the Holiday Inn. My girlfriend was promoting and giving that away to their Priority Club members at the time. As a GM, you know how you walk around and you fill up your pockets at the end of the day? This particular rubber duck, if you look at him closely, he's got like tire track marks on him because he was in the parking lot. And then he landed on my shelf. And then I was cleaning rooms one day, and Virgin Atlantic had these little ones in their little giveaway for their kids. And so there we go. Everybody then thought I loved rubber ducks, and the collection has just literally grown.
So, Anthony, I heard of something I am shocked about. She does not have a Homewood Suites by Hilton rubber duck. So if anyone out there from Homewood Suites can help this woman out, we've got a crisis that needs to be solved. Drop me a line, Glenn@novacancynews.com. Let's make some magic happen.
Okay, and now can she go back in her box because I'm getting very uncomfortable with all the rubber ducks.
All right.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Right. That was a whole lot of fun. Okay, Anthony.
So I did something I haven't done in all the years we've been doing the podcast.
What is?
I went to get my eyeglasses, and when I went to get my eyeglasses, I forgot to shut my camera off. And what did you see?
I saw you in full gear over there. Great pair of shorts, by the way.
my shorts on. I go outside sometimes, like to see the mailman or UPS guy, whatever, and I have my jacket on, or with shorts on with no shoes on, and I have a.
I'm just saying, if I saw you walking down the street that way, I would be calling some facility to get you some.
But help. You know what's interesting? If you go to the islands, I mean, businessmen walk around with shorts and a jacket and a sports jacket. It's very normal.
I love that look in Bermuda, for example. Yeah. And it's very normalized there, and I absolutely love it. You know what else I love, Anthony? Our good friend Chris Green, CEO of Chesapeake Hospitality, making his triumphant return to the show. So excited to have him back. I can't even wait any longer. Let's bring him right on. Chris Green. And I know, Anthony, I only get this once a month, but
it's great to see Chris. And when I said to Chris in the green room was, Chris, you look normal because you went through all types of stages. And apparently you can't play poker because everything is on your face. And now you look back to normal. But through this whole 2 years, everything was on your face.
That's honestly, that's when you know you're a good friend, because that's who I am. I mean, whether it was my hotel teams when I was a GM, or whether the team now, or even you guys, I wear it on my face. Anthony, I never had to say to the team at the hotel whether I was frustrated by something or upset by something, or never even had to get wound up, because you can just see it. And people used to say to me, it's more like disappointing our dad than it is. We just feel terrible.
Well, I'm really glad. I'm happy that you're happy. And our friend over here looks like he's going bass fishing.
I guess he is. I didn't know, but he's in the lobby of, it looks like either St. Louis or the Peregrine.
It is the Peregrine. And I'm very excited that I love this particular property. And I'm glad that you teed this up, because I recently just relaunched the Hospitality Design podcast over there, and you guys can watch. I'm putting into the thing right now my interview with Malcolm Berg, who designed the space over there. And we had a great conversation with it. I think it's about 3/4 into the show. So be sure to check that out, Chris. I love it. And maybe one day we'll get to like a Friday night audit or something from over there.
Yeah, let's do it. It's a great
Oh,
hotel.
for those people that can't see Glenn, that's most of us.
Yeah, let me,
he's wearing a
yeah, that's true. I'm wearing my official Friday night audit.
Oh, is that what it is? It looks like a bass fishing hat.
Well,
with
I'm going
his
to be
plaid
doing
skirt.
I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing that afterward in my Oculus, I think.
Oh, we're doing that tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Glenn, Chris, do you have an Oculus yet?
I don't.
Please get one because we're going to be inviting you to a party. We can't talk about it right now, but you need an Oculus.
Is it like Fight Club? You can't talk about it?
Yes.
All right. Before we talk about what's happening, this is my feeling about the metaverse and Oculus. You're going to get there when one of your clients invites you to a holiday party next year or something else. So I propose to you that you get there before everybody else. So get yourself an Oculus, and then we're going to make it easy for you because we're going to bring all of our friends on, and we're going to have a cocktail party or we're going to have a meeting, and we're going to be in the metaverse. So
that's awesome.
Get yourself an Oculus, my friend.
All right, so when Anthony was getting all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over this Oculus a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, yeah, whatever. He bullied me into buying one, and I'm about done with the real world right now.
Really?
Pop those things back on and have crazy experiences. I just want to fight Darth Vader. I was watching a couple of David Attenborough films. For those of you who don't know, he's the premier naturist, works with the BBC, and they have some videos that they designed specifically for this. And oh my God, is it incredible? It's like you're sitting in the IMAX theater in wherever you are. It is unbelievable.
You're welcome, Glenn. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I know that it looks like we're a tech show, but Chris, we're a hotel show over here. What's going on with you? How are you feeling today? I'm starting to feel like this Omicron thing's kind of annoying, but I think Anthony and I are both over it.
Yeah. It is annoying, and it's super hard operationally. You cannot. I mean, it's nice for us to get on and talk, but you just can't help but sympathize with the operations teams. Lisa, who runs our ops side, I mean, they're just running crazy because we're having to backfill, and the Omicron is thank goodness not as deadly, I guess, or as impactful, but it is putting people out, and so we've had more cases over the past 30 days than we had all of COVID, any spike it at one time. We had like 130 out the last 2 weeks, which is a lot of people out at hotels. Wow. So operationally, it's putting a lot of people out.
It's everywhere. Every business.
Yeah.
We tried to have a meeting down in Jupiter, Florida, and it was just difficult. We didn't have our landscape architect yesterday. They didn't have me because I'll announce it here. I had COVID. I got over it. And we didn't have someone else. So it's like, it's hard to even schedule meetings. Everybody's out.
Yeah.
But I had COVID. I got diagnosed early in the week last week. I'm out of quarantine. Have I done yesterday? I didn't do it yesterday. Did I do one before? I did some this week, right? I was on this week.
You were on this week.
So I was still in quarantine. I was out of quarantine. As soon as I was out of quarantine, I went to Jupiter, Florida. I felt great, but I'll tell you the symptoms I had, and I wasn't going to talk about, but headaches. The worst headache I've ever had in my back. Mm-hmm. My back and my head were like, one day was like, wow, this is intense. But but everybody knows getting it, and everybody's going to get it, and we just have to move on. But it is crippling businesses. It really is. Yeah. I mean, right now, I know in Florida where you are, there were 76,000 cases yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean, to put it in perspective, everybody's looking at New York. New York had 30,000.
Yeah, it's. I think the good. I mean, listen again. What's funny is what's this January 13th. So we're only 2 months shy of 2 full years of talking about this. But I'm hoping that Omicron gets us to herd immunity because so many people are getting it.
Oh, right? I think it will. I think it.
So I mean, let's go back to your question, Glenn. How am I feeling? I'm excited. I mean, I feel like we have to start coming out. We have to. Development has picked up. I'm actually heading to Texas next week, and then I'm heading to Alice the following week, and then I'm heading to upstate New York on 2 projects the week after that. And then North Carolina the week after that on a new project. So development has really picked up. There's money out there to spend. There's hotels that are transacting because all government subsidies have gone by the wayside. So if you've needed to do something, you kind of have to do something now with either management or refinancing, which creates opportunities for third-party managers like myself. So that's picking up. The other thing is the group segment. Nobody's canceling. I think people are getting to the point where they're like, we've already canceled twice.
Right.
Like, we're going to go. It may be a blended meeting, a hybrid, but we're going.
I think Alice is going to be, for us, is going to be the litmus test. I think if you get a good crowd at Alice and it's not canceled, which doesn't look like it's going to be.
It's not going to be.
Right.
And Anthony, yesterday we were talking about how 1,300 people already registered. I would say 1,301 because I registered this morning. So they're on track, what they're saying, to get to that 2,000 mark by the time.
So I guess I have to register too, my friend?
See, there you go, 1,302.
I know the JW sold out. So, I mean, normally the JW sells out. That's that. And then the hotel next door. That's another.
Did you get me a hotel room there, Glenn?
I haven't connected with our guy yet. I'm still working on it. I promise to give you an update as soon as I have
thank
one.
you.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, there's no question that staffing is the biggest issue. I mean, is there business? Yeah, there's some business. There's group coming back. Is there, business travelers starting? Absolutely.
Yep.
All of that's starting. And here's what I think. It's hard to turn on the TV on Sunday and not think we're getting back to normal when there's 100,000 people at the Steelers game, right?
Yeah,
it's
right.
just, this is getting back to life. And that's what's made me feel, to Anthony's point, like a human again.
Yeah.
So plus the other thing I've done, guys, since the last time I saw you, is I've really been taking some thoughtful time to get some physical exercise and take care of, because sitting at this, and I would encourage everybody that's watching to make sure you don't sit at this screen all day, do something.
Yep.
That's been really good for me.
Yeah, it's been everything for me, really. The last because when I got COVID, I really haven't been exercising. And when I called my trainer, I said, "Hey, send me some exercises," and I started doing them. And I called him. I was like, "I'm not feeling great." He goes, "Then just sit down and shut up." So I've been sitting down and shutting up for a while. So I haven't worked out in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
And, but tomorrow I've started again, and it saved me. I mean, it saved me through this entire pandemic. And and I want to ask you a question, Chris. I'm getting more and more concerned with what's happening with this easy money. And I'll tell you what I mean by easy money. The interest rates have been low for a long time. People that are in now the 20s and 30-year-olds don't remember 2008. They don't remember where we almost lost America, where we almost went out of business. Okay. They don't remember the bubble, the tech bubble. Crypto's up. Now sports gambling is going on. The interest rates are still low. People are online and they're directly making some money to stay, and whatever money they have, they're putting right into stocks. I just had a conversation with a young man. It's a friend of mine, and he goes, "Oh, you got to invest in Tesla." And I was just like, "Okay."
I know who it is.
So what I said was their debt look like? Because I don't invest in Tesla. And he goes, first he says, "I know everything about Tesla. Ask me anything." I know. Were you there, Glenn? Were you in the meeting? You were there?
That might have been when we were in another city together the last.
Yeah.
Time.
So I said, all right. So all right. Tell me. I'll ask you one question. What's the debt? How much debt are they carrying? Because I don't know those questions. So that's right. Exactly. So that's
fundamental.
It actually turns out that I went and looked at it and looked at everything and said, "Oh, maybe I'll throw a couple dollars in it." I actually did buy a couple of shares of Tesla just for the hell of it. But after I did my due diligence, and after I did and saw that he sold more cars than Volvo, more cars than BMW, that his debt is the lowest of all car manufacturers. His long-term debt isn't very bad. His short-term debt isn't very bad. So after making those decisions, I invested. My point being is, we've been through it, right? We've been through it, kind of like our ancestors went through the Depression and everything. So we've been through it. So we may be a little bit more conservative. It's all going to come to bear. The Fed is going to raise the rates. Inflation is continuing to go up.
Yep.
These people are going to lose, percentages of their stock portfolio. I'm never selling my stock portfolio. So if it goes up or down, it'll probably last after I'm dead. My point being is, When is it all coming home to roost? I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard
And
not
it's
to
going to
look.
be after Tuesday when I close on my mortgage refinance at a really great rate. So
What are you getting? 2.8?
I think even lower because I started the process a while ago and locked it in. Yeah,
Wow.
it's a big.
Yeah, there was low twos available.
Yeah,
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. And maybe you know what, we could be wrong, Anthony. This could be. Here's the problem. We're a little older. We could be wrong, but if experience tells us anything, I got a letter. As a matter of fact, I got a letter from my mortgage company the other day, and it said, "Are you taking advantage of all the equity in your home?" And in my head, I'm going, "Yeah, I'm keeping it in the bank, basically. I'm not refinancing." I know what they were wanting to do.
Dude, I'm basically out of my mortgage very soon.
I know.
I'm getting the same thing, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I turned my 30-year into a 15-year so we could just pay it off already.
Yeah. So I think that to answer your question, Anthony, is there's a lot of, here's the problem. My son does it all the time. He's like, "Dad, I just met a guy, he made $1 million in crypto." Well, that's like the one, but they see it as quick and fast, and they want to take the equity out of their house there's just no simple answer. There's no shortcuts in life. There's just not. Those are the 1 in a million stories. And it's the same thing with, I don't know if you guys track, I kind of am in the need for a vehicle right now. Right. I'm not buying one because prices on cars have gone up 30% the past 2 years because of shipping problems, of inflation. But the dealers are smart, right? Car dealers are some of the smartest people. They've got rates so low that what they sell people is payments. Oh, you can buy this new car for 84 months. I'm like, I'm not going to pay for a car for 84 months.
84 months.
But it's like you said, Anthony, it's easy money. It lulls you to sleep. And then all of a sudden, when everything crashes and your car, whatever you bought for 50 grand is worth 30, what are you going to do?
This is like, well, that's why everybody's driving new cars. Because back in the 70s, nobody drove
last week.
Right, nobody drove new cars because the financing wasn't the same.
Yeah.
What happens when in 2008, when the feds came in and they kind of saved the country, and they basically went into the basement, printed money, right? And then they basically gave it to Wall Street, and then Wall Street wanted more money, and then they stopped giving them, and then we had inflation, but they saved America. What happens when the stock market goes down, interest rates continue to go up, inflation goes up, and that person that has crypto goes to sell the crypto, and everybody goes to sell the crypto at the same time?
Right.
There is not a Fed in the basement printing more crypto to save the crypto. What happens when that happens? And that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm not saying I wouldn't be in crypto, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be in crypto.
It's like a run on the banks, right?
But my point is, America is built on putting people back to work, and we can print money because it puts people back to work. And those people that we're printing the money for use the money to go to the theater, to buy new cars, and to buy houses. What happens with crypto when who's going to print it? Are they going to go mine more crypto? I don't like.
You
how's
can't.
that going to
No,
work?
that's not how that works. You can't mine anymore. There's only so much that can be mined. There's other, but that's why we can't get off. I'm not a crypto expert at all, but that's why there's different coins now coming out, because there's only so much real crypto, original, that can be mined. So they're coming out with everything else.
How do you solve that problem when everybody goes to sell the crypto? Like, how do you fix that?
Same.
You need somebody. You need an economist or something. I don't know the answer to that.
Doesn't that just follow the law of supply and demand, right? If everybody's selling it,
Price is going to crash.
Price is going to crash. It's like what happened in the stock market. If everybody loses confidence in a particular,
but there's places to put your money somewhere else.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put your crypto? Your crypto is the investment. The dollar isn't our investment. The stock is our investment. The bond is our investment. The treasury bills are our investment. The money just gets us that. The crypto is the investment. So I'm concerned about once inflation continues to go up, and the Fed continues to increase interest rates. I don't know. I was just having a very long talk with myself last night.
Well, here's the deal.
We can solve all my problems.
Our problem in the hotel business is because of the franchise model. We never do a good job of keeping ADR up with inflation. Okay. So not because the good hoteliers don't, but all hoteliers don't. There's always the bad actor in the marketplace that just wants to get occupancy. So if we don't, I was talking to somebody from one of the research firms yesterday for a piece they're doing, And he was asking me if I thought we were going to make the same money in 2024 as we did in 19 net income at hotels. And I said, it really depends on ADR. I mean, because if we don't inflate our ADRs effectively as inflation grows, we're not going to be able to keep up with labor costs. I can tell you labor is going to put so much downward pressure, that and insurance, and then the OSHA ETS employee testing standard. If that happens, that's a massive crusher.
Could you explain what that testing standard is, please, Chris?
Basically, if the employee is not vaccinated, then they have to test weekly, and that weekly test, the cost of getting that done can be forced to be borne by the employer.
Why? If the employee chooses not to get the free vaccine, why should you have to pay for it?
Well, that's how the government works.
But
also, I mean, it's also here's the other thing that's really scary. You want to talk about macroeconomic issues, is right now the vaccine or the tests you can buy on Amazon are $30 or the $20, the home tests. Well, those are going to be forced to be insurable by insurance companies
starting Saturday.
So yeah, guess what happens to the price of those kits? Yeah, $250 for the same kit. Same thing used to happen with EpiPens back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you used to be able to buy them for $30, and now they're $300 because they're insurable.
Yeah, and that's wasn't that Senator, what's his name, Muchin? What's his name? His daughter. The same year it went up, she made $18 million.
So, anyways, I mean, that's the problem. This is a gigantic. Sometimes when I love, you guys know, I love the nuts and bolts of hotels, right? I love being in it. And that's why I'm excited about next week going out to Texas to some hotels. Yep. This macro stuff it makes your head hurt, because all these pressures that are coming in on our business are the things that are going to keep us from the rapid recovery that we want.
Yeah. So, but on the other side of it, Chris, it's going to force people to be more innovative and all of that. So I guess this is where that technology portion starts to come back into the fore. Have you started to think about some of the next moves that you could make to mitigate some of those rising expenses without impacting customer service or ADR?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about quite a number of them. A lot of them have to do with, efficiencies, right? I mean, we're obviously going to run lower housekeeping numbers. We're going to run a more efficient sales effort in the hotels. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have to use technology to data mine. I mean, luckily data mining has come so far that lead generation and data mining for sales is going to be great. Right. And then there's some companies out there that are doing great things, which is another whole interesting topic of all the M&A activity happening in the tech space on the hotel side. Right. Because, I mean, who was it? Was it Highgate or no? MCR that just acquired
a PMS company, right?
No, they're not a PMS company. They're basically a housekeeping efficiency company. I can't remember the name of the company. Deb Heavenstein.
Hostar? Not Hostar.
No. Anyways, they bought. So you got big owners and managers acquiring tech pieces to try and accelerate the business on their side, right?
There's more money putting in hospitality tech right now than it's ever been in our lifetime.
Yep. So, I mean, that's the future, is doing more with less. But isn't that the same story we did after 01 and 09? I mean, more with less.
But this is different. I'll tell you, this is revolutionary. This will never change. This will never go back to where it was. People didn't have the choices they have today. They didn't have Amazon. They didn't have Uber Eats. They didn't have Uber. They didn't have being able to work from home. The technology wasn't as great. So this is completely different. So this leads to my next question, Kristen. You can answer or not answer it. But I would imagine, with all the stress that your company's been under and with all the opportunities that people have now, is there, and you don't have to mention who or name or anything, but has there been someone that you did not expect to leave the hospitality industry that left the hospitality industry because of these dynamics?
More than one.
Wow.
I mean, more than one. I mean, people that are, there you go. Dan DeHarris says MCR acquired Opti.
Thank you, Dan.
Yep.
Dan the man.
Yeah. I mean, we've had people going from, I would say, from corporate all the way down to, I mean, mid-management that were lifers, really, that if this hadn't happened, they wouldn't have changed. But I've had people go to sell real estate. I had somebody go over to quick service restaurants, which is much more, I mean, it's a little bit more stable through COVID. So they've been doing better. Then I had several people go over in leadership with some tech companies, which is interesting because they've gone to other roles in hospitality, servicing hospitality on the tech side. So that's been interesting.
In
too.
retrospect, was there anything you could have done to save them? See, okay.
No, because they love, if you ask them, we love Chesapeake. I loved what I did, but to them, the 2 years was too long. They were not doing what they loved anymore.
Yeah, and that is why it's not going to go back. That is why this exodus from the hospitality industry is so desperate for us, because a great company with great leadership, with great people, decided to say, you know what, I'm just going to do something else because this is too hard. That's the problem. That's the moment. This is the moment we all got to remember in our careers, that this is where hospitality has changed. And I don't think that the brands are being honest. And I don't think that we're being honest with ourselves, that we've got to, what do we do to solve this talent exit? It's not, I don't even call it people exit. I'm just going to put talent. We're losing talent because there's some people that we lose and we're like, all right, God bless you. And I feel bad for that industry that you're going there. But there's a lot of people, when you're telling me talented people that you respect and respect you are leaving, and they're not coming back, and they're making just as much, if not more money, and they have more flexibility in their life, we've got a problem. Serious.
Yeah, it's I was never super good with math, like algebraic math. So when you have to solve for X, I struggle with that, right? And so when I think about what X is, which is how our business differentiates between almost every other business, 24/7, 365. Through the holidays, people were asking me, I bet you're getting some good downtime. And yes, I did, which was nice with my family. However, every one of my hotels was still open. Every one of them still had to have night audit. Every one of them still had to service guests.
Right.
We still had pipes freezing in different places. It just never stops. And I don't think it's such a fun business that we love so much of it, that those little things were nuisances before. But then when those became all you were dealing with was the nuisances for 2 years, because there wasn't a ton of guests, you're like, what is it? What is going on?
Yeah. Right. And earlier this week, Chris, we were talking about how, I've been feeling like we're still in this marathon there, and how difficult it is to keep digging deep to those reserves to keep going forward under these particular circumstances. So that's got to be a real challenge for everybody, particularly those at the line level. I mean, I got pretty plush here at the House and Resort Pool Club and Smokehouse, relatively speaking, compared to having to deal with crazy customers a lot every day.
Yeah. And I think people are just like, they just want to get past it. So like, not that people should get sick, because I'm telling you, I got sick with this and it's not fun because you've been sick with it, and it's not fun. So you shouldn't get sick to be sick, but everyone's going to get it. And I honestly think March, April, we're going to be okay. I think it's going to be better even last March.
A lot of wood right now.
I think we're going to be good. We can't really take any more. So I think we're going to be good. The problem, we have to market our industry differently. We've got to almost market it as a technology service industry. We've got to change something dramatically in our industry, because hospitality jobs is like saying you're going to go swimming with weights on your feet. It's like, yeah, swimming sounds good, but I got weights on my feet. That's not going to work. So that's such an Italian Brooklyn thing to say, right?
It is. I mean, why do we got to swim? You're going to make me swim in the Hudson with concrete on my feet?
But my point being is, I think we need a rebranding as an industry. Like literally from the top, we need a rebranding of what we do, because what we do, yes, it's hospitality, but it's technology-driven service.
Texpitality industry?
It's what?
Well,
Texpitality?
Texpitality.
That's more like texpitality.
I will say that at lodging in I think it was the end of September or October, I love it because they bring those students in from it's not Arizona State, it's one of the colleges out there, and they're all hospitality students, and they are still jazzed about our industry. And so the problem we're having is making it attractive enough and flexible enough to keep them jazzed. But the problem is we got this massive gap, right? We lost all those people in 8 and 9. We worked our way back up. We were still struggling for labor in 19, right. Remember? I mean,
1 million jobs were open at that time, and that was a big, big issue. Of course, now it's a lot more.
It's a lot more, and And so we're going to lose this big talent drain. So if we don't use technology, Anthony, if we don't get better with digital support and remote technology support, then the problem is going to be that this new generation is not going to have the experience to call on that we have.
Mhm.
So it's going to be very difficult to operate. I do like your idea of starting over. I just wonder, I like to be really curious and imaginative and wonder what that looks like, right? Is it like, instead of front desk, we have like guest engagement professionals, or, I don't know. What is it? What's different?
I think we need a think tank
Yeah.
with the greatest people in the industry. And we start to really look at it, because yes, the kids that are in hospitality right now are jazzed about hospitality because they've had some kind of experience where they've had a good experience. However, the numbers for enrollment in hospitality schools is way down.
Yeah.
Is way down. And that's a problem. So I think we need a rebranding of our industry. And maybe we start to talk about that. Maybe we have a panel about that. Maybe we sit in a room in our Oculus and we do we do our first panel about that would be interesting, Glenn, to do a panel. We invite like 6 or 7 or 8 people, just us.
Mhm.
And we sit there and we take notes and we're like, how do you rebrand? And then how do you start talking about it? And it's really just about companies like yours, Chris, that we just start with our engagement differently. Like we just talk about it differently. Like we talk, David, our producer, I mean, he's getting his head beat in.
Yeah.
Okay. And I laugh and I enjoy watching his head beat in because he's cut from our cloth, right? He's cut from that cloth.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of people cut from that cloth. He's getting, as much as he's getting his head beat in, he's also getting a great opportunity to run a multi-million-dollar business in the middle of New York City at, in his 30s and dealing with all the, so he's getting tremendous experience. You couldn't get that experience with a PhD. Sorry, Dr. Suzanne.
She's shrugging.
But we need to do something. We need to do something differently. And I just feel, I've said it so many times, and I don't want to get in trouble with their brands, but I just don't see. I just don't see it. I just don't see the brain power and the creativity coming out of the brands. They have a way of helping change people's minds about the hospitality industry, and I just don't see it.
Yeah. Dan makes a good point. Dan D. Herrera there.
Right there. They don't work in a hotel. They want to work in asset and revenue management. That's interesting, Chris, because one of the things we talk about is showing people that path to success, that it's not all about the front desk and in the hotel. Dan is suggesting that maybe that's working against the industry.
Here's the problem. I mean, I'm just going to Dan's point.
Yeah.
Not everybody can work in asset management. I mean, eventually there's no assets to manage is the problem, right? So,
plus some of us are not good at it.
Right.
Oh, I would be great at asset management. I would.
No, I mean me. I was an asset manager for 2 years. I hated it.
I would drive operators insane, believe me. But I mean, because I know I've had it done to me for years and years and years. So, but you just can't be an asset manager. And honestly, the best asset managers, and nobody take offense out there, I apologize, and
operations,
but have been people that have run hotels. So
it's interesting. Producer Suzanne said in the private chat box, many programs are cutting out operations and going towards that asset and real estate side.
Yeah, and that's a shame, because I really feel really strongly that I was when I was an asset manager, the operations people loved me. My own bosses didn't understand me. I don't think they liked me, because I was an operation asset manager and I understood the pain. See, the one thing you have to understand about being an asset manager, even on a hotel, and Glenn, with all due respect, you understand it a little bit, but you don't understand it.
I don't pretend to.
There is
I don't feel disrespected.
What I'm saying, there is tremendous pain that goes into operation, especially right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you as an asset manager don't have that emotional intelligence to speak to a general manager on a Monday morning in the right way, you are not going to be effective. I'll give you an example. Monday morning, you show up, you look at the P&L, you look at the expenses, you say, where are you with your capital, your 5-year capital? I asked you for it last week. Where are you? Where are you with food and beverage expenses? I see it's still that way it needs to be. Right. This weekend, we went down with 3 rooms on Saturday night. Why did we go down with 3 rooms on Saturday night? Now, this guy just rolled into Monday. probably worked the weekend as MOD potentially, probably dealt with a pipe that busted. The reason he didn't walk those 3 people is for a technology reason or because somebody fucked up, excuse my language, or whatever it was, it happened. So the time he rolls into Monday, he just needs a minute. And if you don't give that person a minute, that's how you lose a hotel. That is how you lose a team. That is how you lose the spirit of what we do. Because the guy's just got a job. He doesn't have a career at that point. Because if you come in and you're heavy-handed with that person and you don't understand what he just went through, because I'll give you perfect. I was always the guy that when you questioned me on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday morning after I went through hell, do you think I sat there and took your crap?
Right.
I told you exactly how I felt. I was like, dude, I haven't slept in 3 days. I was just downstairs up to my ankles in sewage. Like, I don't really give a shit about what you're talking about.
First of all, Anthony, you always tell people exactly what you
Right,
say.
right, that is true. But my point being, sorry to go off on this on my tangents, but it's not that simple, right, Chris?
No, and I think that that's the key. I mean, I you know, you've got to know. A good example you gave was like, you don't come in after the end of the month and say your food cost was bad. First thing I've had that happen, and the first thing I say is, did you look at my mix of business?
Right.
And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, we did 65% outlets last month. We didn't have any banquets in. So yeah, food cost is going to be 2 points high because I didn't run, and then the asset manager's like, oh boy, I didn't know to ask that question because they don't know.
Yeah. And that an asset manager doesn't know to ask that question is the problem. It's like if you're a pilot for a plane and you lose an engine, right? You're not going to say, oh, what do we do now? It's like if you're going, the one thing you do in our industry more than anything is you talk to people. The one reason you're really good at what you do, and I think I'm really good at what I do, is because all the other stuff we got. So when you have to talk to someone, you're talking to them with a level of knowledge. There's so many asset managers that go to these great schools. They come out and they are smarter than I'll ever be. They can ask financial questions that I still have to learn how to ask those questions, but they can't ask a basic question. If you're asking me why my food cost is up and I had 2 major banquets or not banquets, but whatever, it was all restaurants. So there was no banquets that weekend. Okay. And you ask me why my food cost is up, then you don't know how to read a P&L. If you're asking me why my liquor cost is up and all we had was, high-end drinks that weekend because our high-end bar was open, but the beer bar wasn't open or whatever it was, it's like you should be able to read a P&L without just reading the numbers.
Understand the context with each.
Well, and the thing is I don't have a good example here on my desk, but I believe in being a front page asset manager. And what I mean by that is you look at the front page, you look at the total revenue, the mix of business, and the flow through to the GOP and NOI line. And if it's good, you better trust that GM that if he overspent on towels that month, good, because he needed them. He's a good GM or she's a good GM. She knew. And so what if the towel line is over by $5,000? That's not a big deal as long as the front page is right, because the front page is what goes to the bank. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm laughing my ass off because I've been in so many of those meetings, especially when I was an asset manager. And I'm like, look at the front page, guys. I'm talking to my ownership. Right. Like, look at the front page. It's wonderful. And it's like, I don't really, like you said, like, I'll look at it. I'll look at the details because I'm a detail guy.
Sure, you have to look.
And the reason I look is simply because there are some times, and you know this, Chris, that where we just get lucky sometimes, right? You just for whatever reason, you get, whatever it is. So I want to make sure that, we overspent here and we overspent here, but we also got lucky on the revenue because of this, that, and the other thing, right? Maybe there was a group that didn't come in and we were able to take that money and then sell the rooms, double the room, whatever. So you want to understand how you got to the score, but if you win the game, shut up.
Yeah, because still the litmus test is the flow, right? If you got one of those windfalls, like a big attrition check or something, right, you're going to flow at 90% instead of 75 or 78, whatever. You're going to flow even higher. So, you really can tell from the front page. That's why it doesn't take a ton of time if you have an ops background to review a P&L. You should know right where to go. And, the minute you see a food cost issue, you better flip that page open and look at the mix of banquets and catering and revenue outlets and restaurant outlets or your beverage mix. It's really not super hard. And I think, common sense asset management would be great. So I don't know how we got on this asset management.
Yeah,
I haven't had any problems with
Anthony's love of asset management.
and then you can also look at the front page and see quick what they did wrong. But kind of like watching the Charger Raiders game and understanding why the Chargers coach called a timeout 25 seconds before the end of the game when they were both going to go to the playoffs. Can you explain that one, Chris?
No, I can't.
The next morning, he was fired before 9 a.m. They was like, why did they fire him so quick? Read the front page.
So I got something over here. Is the talent pool shallow due to the amount of people getting involved with short-term rentals, Airbnbs? Their former housekeepers starting their own cleaning companies. I can't speak to the property level, but anecdotally, what I've seen at the executive level, marketing people, franchise people, they're moving to other sectors as well. Short-term rentals companies like Sonder, other companies that do that sort of thing. In addition to that, they're also moving towards like a little bit adjacent industries where they could apply their skill set, such as WeWork type of companies as well. So I'm seeing a lot of that. Are you seeing that with executives as well, Chris, that you interact with?
Oh yeah, there's been a huge uptick in the professional recruiter, executive headhunter attack on hospitality. I mean, because that's what they've realized is, and that we've known all along, right, is we work super hard and we have to juggle about 400 balls a day. So if you put us in an industry where I only have to juggle 30 a day, I'm going to be a rock star. So they're picking off some talented people for these adjacent industries.
Totally. For example, like we're going to be doing next month, we're doing an interview with Mint House, and their chief development officer is Paul Sacco.
Oh, I know Paul Sacco.
Of course you do, right? Because we all do, because we've been on the road. He worked with Wood Capital. He worked with,
Red Lion,
Starwood, right? So these are the types of people, folks that we all know that we've been interacting with for decades that are now shifting. Oh, wait, Jeremy Nichols, our favorite recruiter. So many other industries have targeted our people since there's such a wealth of talent. He's absolutely right. Jeremy, we got to get you back on. I think it's time.
Yeah. And also their offices close usually Friday at 5:00. And maybe they take a half a day on Friday. You just said it. I was laughing before when you said, so you enjoyed the holidays with your family. I can't even say it without laughing. When you have the reason I never wanted your job, Chris, is because like I do shut my brain off. Like my business runs all the time, but like I'm not worrying about a frozen pipe. I couldn't take it anymore. And it's like your job is like it's ridiculous. Like just for people's just for fun, actually, at your expense, Chris. Tell me the last time you got a phone call at 2:00 in the morning and why. Something you can talk about.
I mean, thankfully, it's been a little while. I mean, I haven't had any 2 o'clocks. I've had some 11 and midnights recently. And I mean, well, we've had, guests expire at hotels.
Yeah, of course.
We've had incidents. We've had, there's been an uptick with associate facing aggressiveness from guests, right?
Yep.
Like you see on the airlines. That's a serious issue right now, which I'm looking in this camera. Don't do it. These people are hardworking people. They're just trying to take care of you.
Like Kelly Jim said here, in the past year, many people are just so mean. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad. I actually talked to a gentleman on a plane the other day, a little bit sternly, frankly, because I said, you got to leave her alone, man. It's not her policy. This is the way it goes,
Yep.
So, he was reasonable. So
first time I've ever been on a plane with aggression. Last night, I'm getting off a plane from I was in Jupiter. I was coming home. It was a 24-hour business trip. And as I'm getting off the plane, this gentleman in the New York City baseball cap, New York Yankees baseball cap, sitting in first class, he's kind of dressed the way I'm dressed right now. And he puts his hand up to me and he goes, now I'm not leaving the aisle because I still have to put my stuff in the bag. So I'm letting people pass. But I guess he thought I was. And he put his hand out and he goes, don't go in the aisle. Let that lady go first. And I just looked at him and he just gave him a dirty look and went back to my bag. I'm not going to mess with people on the plane. Oh, so I guess he did that to somebody else. That didn't go so well. And they literally yelled at each other the entire time getting off the plane. Past that first bathroom after you get off the plane. Past the first bathroom. and they're still going at it. Finally, the guy that not the guy that was talking to me, but the other guy he was fighting with went right with, they were mask to mask. And I was like, okay, the other guy's going to back off because this guy isn't playing. Like, he's going to knock him out. And the guy backed off and he walked away because he realized he just, he was messing with the wrong guy. And I was just like, these are two probably people have never had a fight in their life.
Were they both in first class?
Which no, the
Okay.
one guy that almost knocked the other guy's head off was not in first class.
Okay.
But the guy in first class wasn't as tough as he thought he was. But my point being is,
from all those free cocktails.
but Chris, my point being is, like, you, a nice guy, you had to get a little stern with somebody. People are getting, like, I didn't put myself in a position to get in that guy's face, but if he kept on going, I would have easily gotten in his face.
Here's,
And
a great
that's the
mentor.
problem.
A great mentor of mine told me something, because I take this business to heart and caring for people, and you can wear it too much. And he said to me one day when I was especially stressed, he said, Chris, this is a hotel, not a hospital. Nobody lives or dies here today. And I mean, guests do pass away, but I'm talking about, it's not that important, guys. We're traveling. If you're on an airplane, it's not. I know you might have been late for your rental car or you had a bad day, but let's be kind to one another. I mean, that's the least we can do nowadays.
Listen, with all the traveling we've done, right? And we've done more than most. Have you ever been rude to an employee? I've never been rude to an employee.
No.
I mean, and I've had some bad experiences. I still tip them the 20% at the waiter or the waitress or the Uber, or it's like, man, we're all just trying to get along. But my point being is, when you get people like that on a plane, have never been in a fight in their life, they're starting to fight with each other. It's like everybody's just spent. So if we don't remarket, and Dr. Producer Suzanne, in one of our courses, we got to talk about that. We've got to rebrand how we talk about hospitality. Maybe we even change the name hospitality, because hospitality, unfortunately, has a bad connotation as far as money and as far as hours, and people just don't think of it the way they should.
Right. All right,
Let's call it multi-level marketing.
Right. That's actually a great plan.
You
All
start
right.
at this level, you end up at this level.
I got a question that'll switch topics a little bit. And just so you guys know, we have to be out because I have something I have to do at the top of the hour.
Me too.
What are your thoughts on rewards programs, Chris Green?
I love rewards programs.
Why?
I mean,
You get rewards.
They drive a ton of business. I mean, the big ones do. And I mean, I literally, like I said, I was on a research call yesterday and they were asking me that question. Does it cost money and all that? I said, yeah, but if somebody's going to give me 60% good business, frequent travelers that have company credit cards that drink in the bar and eat and take their clients to dinner, I'll pay a portion of that to get them. I love it. I don't have an issue at all with rewards programs.
It's the way the world works, man. I mean, you're going to ask the rewards programs where we think it's the way. What do you think about third parties? It works, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's too bad we opened that door. I mean, we should have negotiated way earlier, but it's too late. So, and now there's too much business,
It's been 20 years since that door opened. You can't get it closed.
It's kind of like that celebrity or that quarterback that is kind of cocky and says whatever he wants. It's like, it's too late. They're really good. They win a lot of Super Bowls, or they're a really good actor. They drive a lot of revenue. They get away with it. So third party is the same way. They're the cocky celebrity that gets away with it because they drive a lot of revenue. I am, believe it or not, I don't really have any cards. I don't do any rewards, probably to my detriment, outside of Delta. And Delta yesterday, it was a business trip. I booked coach. They upgraded me. There was 37,000 people on the list. I was number one in comfort, and I was number one in first, and I got my upgrade. And, in order to save the client money, I was able to use my status to get upgraded. And that's how I use it. But I'm not a big points person, but it's not even a game. Why do you think Marriott bought Starwood? That's the only reason Marriott bought Starwood.
Well, just for those who don't know, former company Starwood, their rewards program was the favorite for a lot of
SPG, baby. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love it. I think it's important. And I think that here's what I'll tell you. I've always been this way. You can spend a ton of time breaking down what it costs to get OTA business and all this, or you can figure out how to use all these programs to your benefit. And I prefer to spend all that time figuring out how to use it to my benefit instead of worrying about what it costs, because it's going to cost. So why don't we put our minds to the focus on driving the most profitable outcome and mixing our business properly so that we're using the right pieces to fill the building at the right time. And then we win, right? It's just,
and trust your management and let them give incentive programs to the front desk to make sure people don't go to third parties the second time, the third time, the first time, whatever, the second time is your fault.
Yep. Chris,
You're right, Chris.
any final words before we wrap up today?
Yeah, there was a quote that the president of my, and I'm going to forget it, but I'm going to try and say it. It was the president of my daughter's college that she goes to, and it said, be as kind as you can to as many people as you can for as long as you can. And I thought that was powerful. So I think that's a good goal for all of us.
Did Bob Saget say that? Because
no,
everybody that's coming out about Bob Saget, I had no idea. Right? First of all, I didn't know he was a filthy comedian, and second of all, I didn't realize that everybody in Hollywood loved him. Everybody. Did you see that video where John Mayer and Steve Ross went to pick up his Prius? His wife, I guess they were very good friends. His wife was, I guess, upset and says, "Who's going to get his car?" Anyway, so his car was at the airport, I guess in Orlando, California, when he got on the plane. And so they went and they drove his Prius back to his house for his wife, and they did a video talking about him. And Steve and John Mayer said, basically, every single person in Hollywood was Bob Saget's best friend. So first was his wife, second was his children, and 30,000 people were tied for third. That's crazy to be able to, like you just said, because he was kind to a lot of people for a long time.
Yep.
Hey, I'm going to take a liberty if you'll allow me, Glenn.
Go ahead. I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
No, you don't, actually.
I don't?
No.
All right, go for it.
You don't. A good friend of mine in this industry lost his life to substance abuse issues recently. And I just want everybody out there to know that there's help. You can get help, whatever it is, it's not the end. So thanks for letting me say that. It's important. This is a good friend of mine.
I'm sorry to hear that.
For your loss, Chris.
That's tragic.
There was words that really helped me. It's like, this too shall pass, right? So when we all get down, it's like, this too shall pass. And I just want to, on that note, we were going to talk about the other day, but I was kind of a little too emotional to do it. Larry Broughton. Okay, I don't know if you heard, but he lost his son in a tragic car accident. Sunday.
It's horrible.
And Larry was on my show 5 or 6 times. And Larry and I became very good friends. And Larry saved my butt a lot. I would call him literally the night before, go, "Hey, dude, you need to get in the car. You need to get on a plane. You need to get here. I'm doing the show, and I don't know what I'm doing. I need your help." Every single time. And when he picked it up, he goes, "I don't know why I'm picking up this phone, but what do you need?" And he, without fail, always showed up. And that he lost his son out of nowhere on the Sunday night in a car accident. It's horrific. So our hearts bleed for you, Larry, and we're all thinking about you.
Totally.
This is what I said. This is a hotel. This is hospitality, not a hospital. There's more important things out there. Let's have fun doing what we do.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Chris, thank you so much. We will see you at Alice.
You will.
Yep.
All right.
Take care, brother. Be good.
See you later, sir. It was good to see him. It was good to see Chris. It was good to see him. Like, he looks okay.
Yeah.
There was a couple times during the shows, you can just see the world was on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. All right. On Monday is Martin Luther King Day. We're going to be taking the day off on Monday. But then after that, we have got some good shows lined up. Of course, we have good shows lined up, including the CEO, Daniel Del Olmo from Sage Hospitality, one of the largest management companies there. And we'll be celebrating National Popcorn Day that day. How exciting. Sarah Dandishy's on next week, so I'm excited about that as well.
Oh, yeah, great. And she wrote a book that was with a forward from a really nice guy.
Yes, I understand. Colleen's book is in the mail. My book is in the mail. So we're
Hospitality from Within.
Yeah.
So I just wanted, do we have 2 minutes?
We do.
Real quickly, 2 Martin Luther King stories.
Yes, sir.
Which I may have spoken on the show before, but one, I was at the Algonquin Hotel. Dorothy Parker. She was, if you don't know who Dorothy Parker, look her up. We don't have time to tell you who she was. But she was just a badass woman. And when she passed away, she gave her estate to Martin Luther King. When Martin Luther King passed away, he gave his estate to the NAACP. I loved her quotes. So we would put the quotes on cocktail napkins. I've told you the story, right?
Yes.
We put quotes on the cocktail napkins, and we didn't sell them. We just used them in our bar. So it said, my favorite quote was, "I love a martini, 2 at the most, 3 of them under the table, 4 of them under the host."
Right.
And so we used these quotes, and then all of a sudden I got a letter from the NAACP saying, cease and desist. And I was like, what the hell did I ever do the NAACP?
Yeah.
And it turns out that for whatever reasons, their lawyer said we couldn't use it. My lawyer said, yes, we could. And we used them. But like that was a weird connection. Then the first time I ever did room service at the Lucerne Hotel,
right,
our first guest to open up the door for the room service was his wife.
Wow.
Scott King.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So on Monday, give thanks for Martin Luther King.
Yep. Then maybe on Tuesday, we'll talk a little bit about his impact and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Anthony, so good seeing you today. Glad to have you back. I missed you yesterday. And for all of you guys who want to listen to our shows, make sure you check out our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. You know what to do right now, wherever you download all your podcasts. Well, No Vacancy Live is available to you there, which is why we're in the top 0.5% of all podcasts in the known universe. And don't worry, we're working on the unknown universe too. If you want to reach out to him, he's at Anthony Hotels and I'm at Traveling Glenn.
You know, I'm offended that you lie to our audience and say that you don't know about the unknown universe. You're from the unknown universe.
Listen, I am, but I don't want to brag too much that we're number one over there in the unknown. But you know, what are you going to do? Right on the other side of the black holes. That's where No Vacancy thrives. All right, everybody. Remember, you've got one life, so blaze on and
be kind to yourself.
See y'all next week.